How's it going, everyone? Welcome back to day 4 of Path of Exile 3.20 Forbidden Sanctum. Um, After yesterday, I wasn't enjoying the Explosive Arrow Champion as much as I had in the past. Um, so we decided to reroll into a Juggernaut Righteous Fire. Um, Pox is obviously big inspiration when it comes to Righteous Fire. Um, Last league, I played a Righteous Fire Inquisitor to 98. The league before that, I played a Righteous Fire Inquisitor to 100. Um, and with the nerfs to Inquisitor and Pox really um, building out the Juggernaut ascendancy, I wanted to give it a try. We got through the campaign yesterday rather smoothly. We had, great leveling gear already at this point in the league. We were using Tabula, um, and really a great leveling unique for Righteous Fire. If you want to run Righteous Fire early on, is Springleaf. With this shield, you can pretty much run Righteous Fire right at level 16. Um, this regenerate 100 life per second while on low life pretty much locks your character at half HP. So you're able to run Righteous Fire really early, and I've never tried that. I've only done Righteous Fire as a league start. And so I wanted to try this shield out when leveling a Righteous Fire character with leveling gear. So it was quite fun. We got to run Righteous Fire at level 16 and pretty much breezed through the campaign with that. Shield Charge obviously is a great movement skill when paired with Frost Blink. But let's go over some of the gear. So we were able to fund this character by selling the Didian Dawn that we got on our Explosive Arrow champ. That sold for about 60C. And then actually, one of the first maps I was running to level this guy after the campaign was a Crimson Temple, and we dropped a 7 Years Bad Luck, which sold for 70C. So we had about 130C to gear this character with. And let's go over the gear. So the scepter is really, really basic. I pretty much just got a scepter from Act 1 and used the vendor recipe to get +1 level of all fire spell skill gems. And then at some point I crafted just extra increased fire damage on there as well. Socketed in there, we have our Frost Blink, Hex Touch, Flammability. Still fine to curse with Frost Blink when mapping. Probably when bossing, we'll change this out for a self curse. In our helmet, we have a lot of armor, a lot of life regeneration rate, and some resistances. Ideally, this will be one of our next upgrades. We do want our Elder Helmet with the 30% more elemental damage from the Essence of Horror, and hopefully we hit Conk Effect or Burning damage as well, with the ability to maybe craft a life roll or a resistance. But for now, this big life roll, the life regeneration rate, does its job. It keeps us alive. Socketed in the helmet, we have Fire Trap, Combustion, Trap and Mine damage, and Life Tap. Moving on to the shield, we're using Dawnbreaker at the moment. The chance to block is nice, and the cold, lightning, and physical damage taken as fire are also very nice. And the main reason I have this shield at this time is because of the Scorch enemies in close range when you block. You'll see I don't have Legacy of Fury yet, So this is my only source of Scorch. Socketed in the shield, we have Skitterbots, Molten Shell, and we have the Stone Golem in here, but we're not actually able to cast the Stone Golem because of our reserve mana, so I might switch this out for something else. Not sure yet. Our amulet, we ended up getting a +1 all fire skill gems with some resistance and a crafted life. This amulet is pretty nice for us because this build definitely struggles with having enough dexterity and intelligence to use all the gems that we want to use. On this amulet, I also allocated Arsonist, a cheap anoint. You can get it for 3C very early on in the league, and it's just a great 10% fire damage over time multiplier and regenerate 1.2% of life per second. As for our rings, I'm still using a pyre. I use this for leveling. I only got one. I probably could have used two during leveling, but we actually used a Kikazaru in our other ring slot for leveling because I already had one. So our other ring is just a standard 2-stone ring. Resistances, a little bit of attributes, life. Really basic ring here. We ended up picking up this 6th link yesterday for around 15 chaos. It's a pretty decent base type. As a jug, you don't really need energy shield on your gear, but it makes it much easier to roll 3 blue, 2 red, 1 green. So we opted for this. It was pretty cheap compared to some of the other armor or armor ES, specifically 6 links. And we ended up using a few maybe screaming essences of greed that we had. So we hit life, we hit 80% increased armor, we hit 50 life regen, and we were able to craft a resistance. So overall happy with this at this time, but maybe looking to craft or farm some essences to reroll this to be a bit better. In our gloves, we picked up pretty standard gloves for Righteous Fire. These actually will probably last me quite a long time. We have some increased armor, maximum life regeneration rate, some pretty good resistances, and we were able to craft our socketed AoE gems. In the gloves, we have Purity of Elements, Determination, Arrogance, linked with Vitality. So pretty much our aura setup goes in here. The only thing is Skitterbots can't fit because we use Arrogance on Vitality. And I just realized I didn't go over the links that I'm using for Righteous Fire. So we have Righteous Fire, Burning Damage, Swift Affliction, Life Tap, Efficacy, and Elemental Focus. It's really important that you aren't using Swift Affliction unless you are using Life Tap. So unless you have a 6th link and you are using Life Tap, definitely, do not use Swift Affliction without using Life Tap. For our belt, we're still using Immortal Flesh, really great for life and regen. At this point in our build, we're running Purity of Elements, so the negative to all elemental resistances isn't really a problem for us, and the 40% increased armor while not ignited, frozen, or shocked is actually quite good as well while running Purity of Elements. As for the boots, we actually recycled these from the Explosive Arrow. They just had a good life, good movement speed, and decent res. I didn't want to buy new boots yet because one of our early upgrades is going to be the Legacy of Fury. So didn't want to really spend anything on boots when we already had these. Socketed in the boots, we have our shield charge set up with shield charge, Infernal Cry, Life Tap, and faster attacks. As for the flasks, we recycled our life flask from the champ. We crafted or rolled this ruby flask, ended up getting the 3 charges when hit. Until we farm Betrayal, we won't really have the ability to craft a life regeneration during flask effect, regenerate 2% of life during flask effect. So for now, we settled with the 3 charges and increase attack speed for those faster shield charges. We also enchanted the ruby flask, so we don't need to worry about it, and it's up as frequently as possible with the use when charges reach full. Soon we'll want to get that on the rest of the flasks, but for now, we're just using it on the ruby flask, because that one's most important because of our shield, causing us to take cold, lightning, physical as fire. Of course, this makes you take less fire damage, and our fire resistance is also 80. The rest of the flasks were recycled from the explosive arrow. This Quicksilver, the reduced effective shock isn't doing anything since I am using Purity of Elements, using the same granite flask and the same quartz flask. Ideally, we get a higher roll for curse resist, curse immunity during when we re-roll these, but for now, it will do. So I'm level 75 on here. You could see I have 80 fire res and 78 cold and lightning res. Negative 26 chaos res. For now, that's okay. You know, at some point, I might switch out this quartz flask for a amethyst flask, but for now, the phasing is nice. Also, I don't find myself using the life flask too often. And the immunity to corrupting blood is kind of taken care of by our mastery here. Corrupted blood cannot be inflicted on you. So at some point we might end up dropping the life flask. But I have a map rolled here, and hopefully we can run through it. This is the first red map that I'm running on this character, and we are working towards our June, so let's do that. And why not put domination on this map? I haven't used it. I still have my free craft. Okay. So I'm not the tankiest yet. At this point, it might be... Oh, there's a level. We might... At some point soon, I'm going to want to definitely upgrade to a more block-based setup. For now, I think I only have about a 48% chance to block attacks. Ideally, you know, we get that up to 75 attack and spell block. So that is definitely an upgrade we'll be looking to make soon. Our damage is okay at this point. Our Righteous Fire is still pretty low leveled, and it's definitely one of the levels are definitely one of the biggest things when it comes to Righteous Fire. I actually need to stop this before it gets to the end. But you'll see, it's pretty tanky as long as I'm keeping my flasks up. But overall, I'm enjoying the jug. It's quite good. You'll see we took a pretty big hit there, but haven't died too many times on this character. I think 2 or 3 times is all. And this guy keeps running away from me, and he's causing me to really mess up the way I'm clearing this map. So let's finish off these syndicates. You'll even see some of these magic monsters are a little strong. I don't know too much about Betrayal, but I do know that I need to get some of those enchants. So let's take the increased rarity and quantity in this map. We'll remove Jorgen, and 3 more showed up. So after we get some of our shrines, you'll see that we become quite tanky, and that's really one strategy that I really like when it comes to playing Righteous Fire. Getting the shrines is great. Let's see if we can get Ashling into research. No, can't. Not yet. Really for most of these, I just pick random ones. I know that Hillock in research is good. Ashling in research is good. So if it doesn't really move them, I just click it wherever. We did rework our filter. We're going to be picking up pretty much all of the scepters that we come across. And IDing them and hoping to get something more usable than what we have now. Another goal that I have is to farm up some harvest, and then eventually do the div card strategy where you turn in div cards for a good base but low item level scepter. And then you can reforge fire to be likely to get +1 fire gems, along with some fire multiplier. So we'll work on that in the coming days. And I don't really want this video to go on too much longer, so we're just gonna kind of clear this, and then I'll go back later on and clear out the bosses and stuff. But you'll see these rares die somewhat quickly. You know, we're only level 76 in this tier 10 right now. So definitely not too bad considering... Oh, I got sucked into the Sanctum. Definitely not too bad considering that we're such a low level still. Okay, I leveled up at the beginning of this map, and I'm already about to level up again here. And I very well might before the end of this map. Something in there is hurting. I definitely need to become more resistant to curses and chaos damage. So definitely going to be working on that. And we just completed the challenge. So I think I'll go and kill the map boss, wrap up this video here. City Square was actually one of my favorite maps during Sentinel. But you'll see, you know, these map bosses, you know, they take a little bit of time to kill with Righteous Fire, but they're definitely going down, and overall the build's feeling good. There we go. We get our worthing invitation to fight the dirty bubble. So thank you guys for watching. Hopefully, if you liked it, please remember to leave a like, comment, and subscribe. And look for more update videos for this Righteous Fire character going forward.